I'd like to show you my next project on the Jeep Diesel Wrangler, a new automatic transmission cooler. I'll go ahead and unbox it and show you the parts and explain why I'm doing it. Got the transmission cooler unboxed. Pretty heavy duty, as you can see. Got plenty of hose, brackets, little parts box. So I'll see how this installation goes. It's not in your typical Jeep Wrangler. This is my 4BT. It's got a 4L80 transmission. I do have some AN6 fittings coming out of the transmission, but the cooler right now is running towards the radiator. And the reason I'm doing this is about a half hour out of driving down the highway, it gets up to close to 200 degrees for the fluid. Here's my old setup I had on the 350 with the 700 R4. It worked good at the time, but I wanted something new, and so I'm going to go with that and hopefully make it work. I'll show you the installation and hopefully the final product. So right here, I got some AN6 fittings with a little thermostat right here to turn the fan on. This will be my ground. I'll run a ignition source wire to this. My 4L80 already has some AN6 with some hoses, so I'm gonna route it up and hopefully they'll reach. Another issue I came to is, this is for a short arm lift kit. The long arm will kind of get in the way of this. So what I did, this is the mounting bracket, and I moved it as far forward as I can, and then I'm going to put some spacers right here, and probably cut this off. This is for rear mounting. The only issue I got with this here is service my transfer case. It'll be a little bit more difficult, but it'll be doable. So I'll go ahead and mock it up and come back here in a bit and show you what it looks like. All right, this is the finished installation of the transmission cooler. Went up there pretty good, and I have enough gap right here between my long arm. Put some spacers right there. The only issues I got, I would think later on when I go to service the transfer case, I'll have to loosen it up and get it where I can fill it back up. But this kit, it went fairly well. All the parts are on there. So basically the transmission, it routes, the hot fluid goes to the radiator, and the radiator cools it down a little bit and then comes back to this cooler, and this will cool it down a little bit more and then back to the transmission. So anybody that wants a pretty cool little setup like that, I would recommend it. I might actually do it on my other Jeep. All right, here's the overview of the transmission cooler I installed on my Jeep. It'd be you use it to install it on a stock Jeep. This is far from stock, but the installation's the same. So what I did, I went ahead and bought a aftermarket cooler. It's got the fan on it. Nice cooler, a little skid plate. These are not made for a long arm system, but I got plenty of clearance with some spacers I made. And basically, you run some lines up towards your radiator and hook it up that way. So the fluid is coming from the transmission up to, right here's a couple lines right here, to the radiator. And I know it looks kind of like a mess, but it is what it is. It's going to stay cool. So you got a line coming from your transmission. It goes to the radiator, cools it down a little bit, and the cooler fluid goes back down to the other transmission cooler with the fan on it. And then that comes back around and goes to the transmission. So it should have pretty cool fluid coming through. Right here, that's my power steering cooler. It seems to be working good. So with that issue, I should be able to wheel this in 100-degree days. We'll see how it goes. But how it is. Oh, there's Joe there. She's sleeping. Right, Joe?